Yeah, so definitely a little bit of an unusual map to start things out on. Not one that I've been seeing a lot of, but why not? As here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of the map, playing for the Platinum Heroes. This is the Polish Protoss in the pink. It is ArT.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Neo Humanity, we have his opponents, the German Protoss player. It is Spatz.
Alright, and it's not a ramp map. We're gonna have some two-gate action.
Oh, your favorite, Papi.
Yeah.
All right. What 2 units, Papi? What 2 units?
I will call it early.
Oh,
Gonna go Stalker for ArT.
Oh.
And Adept for Spatz.
I agree with the Stalker from ArT. Spatz, Stalker Adept.
Okay. Getting fancy with it.
Let's go, Buffy. Let's go. For those wondering,
Double sentry.
Mate, they're an animal if one of these guys goes double sentry. Oh my god. But for those wondering, you know what we're talking about? There is no ramp leading up to the natural, and because of these ramp maps in the previous map pool, that made PvP a little bit more dull, a little bit more samey. But Spatz is anything but, because he goes for a proxy pylon in the middle of the map. Oh my god.
Yeah, there we go. So going to be starting things off a little bit spicy. ArT is going to get the scout right away, and he is going to be able to see that there's no second pylon. So immediately he's going to be looking to have a little bit of a search around to try to find that pylon. I mean, a lot of players do like to hide their pylon, so you can see he is checking nearby there to Spatz as well.
Is checking nearby. We'll see if he ends up coming across the proxy
robo.
Let's
go.
As the robo gets thrown down, there are the 2 stalkers, and of course the 2 adepts as well from the side of Spatz. Oh, Asher, you're synced up, Papi. You're Protoss. Oh.
It's terrible. Did you see I got my Protoss to Masters?
Of course you did. What do you mean?
Like an animal. I just dodged the Terrans, Poppy. That's all it takes.
Shaking my head, Poppy. Shaking my head. ArT responding with a defensive Twilight Council, with a Twilight Council for 1 base. Very interesting response. Typically, the safe way to go about this is to go for your own robo. Meanwhile, his probe finally does come across the proxy robo of Spatz.
Yeah, I have seen this a little bit from time to time. It looks like he's going to be trying to go for a fast blink to help deal with this, but interestingly, Spatz himself actually going for a really fast Twilight Council behind this, so he's going to be that normal 3-gate robo, but actually with a very fast Twilight, and I wonder if this was a reaction to getting scouted. Maybe he anticipated that the robo is going to get shut down.
Yeah, I would assume so, because the robo, it's depowered, it's gone, mate. I mean, Spatz is going to try and take control of the map here. He's going to try and catch one of these stalkers out of position, but ArT, he pulls back. He's going to be able to respond in time. And Spatz may even be forced to throw down a Dark Shrine. Like, if he tries to go into Blink, it's going to be so late in comparison.
Yeah, I mean, here we go. Unfortunately, a little bit for ArT there. Looks like he might not have had the minerals there to lock those units in with the Stalkers, but he is going to be able to push them back anyway. We do have Spatz with a second proxy pylon, so really wants to have those fast warp-ins across the map. Is fully committing to this 1 base aggression.
Yeah, 1 base all in, Bobby. That's what we're going to be seeing here from Spatz. We do see another probe scout coming out from ArT to try and see if a Nexus has been thrown down. He confirms that there is no additional base, as opposed to ArT, who has thrown down his natural.
Yeah, really sharp play coming out from ArT to double check like that.
Yeah, exactly. These mirror matchups, you need to recognize what is going on. He should be working on some shield battery soon. And again, there's going to be a massive window here where ArT has Blink. He's going to have so much micro potential with his army, and that is when Spatz is going to be under the most danger.
Yeah, and I mean, Spatz himself, he's going for a bit of a 4-gate here. So instead of re-powering that robo or anything like that, just going to be proxying another gateway over here. You know what would be kind of cute is if he put an assimilator down at this 3rd and started mining between the minerals and the gas and mine the back out here.
Every time we cast together here, you bring it up. You want to see it, but I want to see
Yeah.
it too. I haven't witnessed it. It feels bad.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense here because he has a blink, but
Yeah.
it would be kind of funny still.
Yeah, it would. Meanwhile, we do have a couple of adepts slipping into the main base. ArT, he actually missed a wall off, so a couple of probes are going to be going down. The economic situation looking relatively similar here, and Spatz does have a bit of a stalker advantage, and now he has blink.
Yeah, both players have blink here, so ArT needs to be a bit careful with his stalkers. Maybe just feeling like he has a better micro out of the two, but this is a very close fight.
Oh, it really is. Looking at the units tab here, we are even 11 stalkers against 11 stalkers, but Spatz is committed. He also has more production. Bear that in mind. He can warp in an additional stalker each wave.
Yeah, definitely. So he's going to be looking to overwhelm. I mean, we do have the defensive advantage for ArT. We've got those batteries. We've got a good amount of energy here saved for the recharge as well. And then we go, the overcharge going to be committed, as well as the second battery going down.
Yeah, there we go. There's that second shield battery. Meanwhile, ArT actually pushes Spatz all the way back. The blinks are just a little bit too good. The overcharge may be a little bit premature. Doesn't really help out too much in the engagement. And Spatz is going to be going for another warp. And again, he still has that stalker lead, even slipping in a couple of adepts here to try and slip into that mineral line.
Yeah, but I mean, have a look at this setup by ArT. Massive concave here. Oh, but it looks like Spatz going to be looking to go for the jump into the main. I really like how he set that up with the adept. The probe's going to be put immediately by ArT. He needs to hold on right here, right now. I mean, Spatz is on one base. He has to make this work.
He has to make this work, but mate, it is not working. I love the moves. It was so cool to see him get that high ground vision. But alas, it is not going to be enough. ArT, he is shutting this down.
Yeah, ArT even aggressively blinking after this. Saves that one stalker on the perimeter. His stalker's so much more healthy. Pretty similar counts for both players, but we do have the closer warp ins for ArT. And it looks like despite the micro from the Spatz, ArT is going to be taking this one down.
Oh, GG, well played. ArT takes game number 1 in a really intense PvP there. It's what you love to see. What you love to see. Oh.
Yeah, nice, exciting, scrappy PvP coming out from those players. Beautiful stuff.
Oh my god, and that's a little bit disheartening as well from the side of Spatz. You know, he came in as the aggressor, he wanted to try and catch ArT off guard, but immediately his proxy robo got scattered, got shut down, and Spatz had to try and piece together a bit of a comeback, another way to be aggressive, and because of that, it was that much weaker, that much more delayed.
Yeah, looks like he pretty much read him like a book, and that's never a good feeling there. But with that, we do have game number 2 coming on up, and I wish I could see the maps before it loads in. It's so hard. It's just like a different custom game every time. I don't know if you're getting the same glitch.
Yeah. It's because the games were played on EU, so they didn't.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Didn't transfer over.
Carries over. Weird.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you, Blizzard.
Yes. 12-year-old game. As starting here in the bottom right-hand corner of Van, it is going to be the Platinum Hero himself, the Polish Protoss in the pink. This is ArT.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Van, we have his opponent, the German Protoss player. Currently down in this series, but not out. Tis the best of 5. Plenty of opportunity to come back. It is Spatz. Last week, initially we didn't know that was the case, so Yaku and I were like, oh, because I think we were casting Fire, and game 1, the lobby said like Argentinian, and we're like, is that Babylon in French? Like, what is happening right now? Is that
Argentine?
I guess we're just learning French here. I guess that's what it means. And then like a couple of games later, it was like test or something. We're like, oh, it's no. No. But before we get too much into that, things are already spicing up a little bit. Spatz here went for a Nexus first. This is very unusual in PvP. Very unusual indeed, especially on Gresvan, a map that doesn't just not have a ramp coming into the natural, but has a massive gaping hole instead. So, like, basically just going the polar opposite here of game number 1.
Yeah, maybe anticipating here that ArT wouldn't scout, and he isn't.
Oh, let's go. The mind games coming in here, the risks that some of these players have been taking already today is pretty insane to see here, as of course ArT even goes Stalker Sentry. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, Spatz here really looking not to be predictable, and it's going to pay off in a big way.
Exactly. Again, Stalker Sentry is a very kind of defensive maneuver. When you go for an early sentry like this, it is for scouting information more than anything. You can't be anywhere near as aggressive. Meanwhile, ArT actually throws down a Robo before his Nexus.
Interesting. And he's continuing to make Stalkers, so...
Yeah.
Maybe something about the probe timing has thrown him off?
Yeah, or maybe it's he just wants to be the aggressor. Yep, here we go. 3 gate aggression. There's going to be no blink, but he's basically going to be having blink with that prism, and he's going to try his hardest here to keep this hidden and keep Spatz in the dark.
Yeah, I mean, ArT already doing a really good job just of containing those units. I mean, this sentry is going to help make it seem like he's being a little bit less aggressive, but at the same time, you have to be a bit worried as Spatz. Like, why is ArT being so careful to deny scouting here?
Yeah, something is up. Something is feeling a little bit sus. Can he piece it together? We do have a shield battery on the way, at least in the main base for Spatz. This is all being scouted, by the way. The production, how late the warp gate is as well, like everything here that's happening. And ArT, he's just going to be sending it across the map. He's going to be feeling pretty good about what he saw.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, the way that Spatz is playing here, it seems like he's almost setting up for oracles.
Yeah, even a second shield battery in the natural base as well. He's in the dark. He's trying to prepare for everything, and when you prepare for everything, then you just will not be prepared for something as committed as this. Oh boy.
Unless you're playing Zerg. And here we're gonna have a little bit of a an elevator up into the main. So with the extra warp in as well. Oh, and the potential to force field the ramp.
He's going for it! He is going for it, Puppy! Oh my god!
He's an animal. Oh, massive force fields. Even force fields off the sentries. We see an immediate recall, but if ArT's quick enough here, he should be able to snipe it down. Those sentries actually goes for the pylon. Going to be depowering everything, and he gets the position here on the ramp. We're going to be seeing any mineral walking here from Spatz. Yeah, just a little bit, but the micro is good from ArT. He's going to be able to pick up those units, get out of there. All in all, only 8 probes going down, though, so Spatz might be able to just hold on here.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, but his production is still depowered. He still cannot warp in anything defensively. Meanwhile, across the map, instead of warping in aggressively, ArT, he's throwing down a robotics bay. He's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, ArT as well, struggling to get these warp-ins going. He's having to run around saving his units, and that slows down his timing so much. And behind this Immortal and a Robo Bay. Okay.
Yeah, the Madman is getting into disruptors. We'll see if he can survive that long, because that Prism is taking a lot of hits. The Prism is going to be going down. Very nicely done by Spatz, able to chase all of this away. He still actually has an economic lead because, of course, he has the Nexus, and ArT is 1 base all in. Oh my god.
Yeah. 8 probes definitely not enough here, as we do see that Robo Bay going to be finishing up now, so we'll have to wait and see if it is going to be. Yeah, looks like a disruptor has been queued up, but without the prism to hide this, it's going to be pretty difficult to catch Spatz off guard.
Yeah, I think with the death of the prism, that may just be the death of this push. We'll see as the disruptor is actually cancelled and a third immortal is started instead. So ArT trying to piece something together here. Unfortunately, because of the lack of prism, he doesn't like his chances going into a disruptor.
Yeah, I mean, with this as well, going to be going for a forward pylon, so definitely wanting to pile the pressure on, but having a look at this army, it's not a bad army, but it's not the scariest army I've ever seen either.
Yeah, it's not amazing. I mean, Thankfully, Spatz doesn't really have any tech like to his name. Like Blink is on the way, but it's not even halfway done. There is a shield battery on the low ground, but only one. So with all these immortals, like ArT can still break through.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if Spatz has been greedy behind this. I mean, Spatz's robo is still not finished. Blink's still quite a long ways off as well. He's just gonna sneak forward there and deactivate the shields on that immortal. Really nice move there.
Yeah, gonna be a little bit cheeky. Meanwhile, I love this. He's setting up a proxy pylon across the map as well, so he can maybe warp in and adept. He scouts with this probe and confirms ArT doesn't have a natural. I need more shield batteries. And there we go. 2 more shield batteries are on the way. All Spatz has to do is defend.
Yeah, Spatz in full defense mode. Bit of a role reversal from that last game here where he's the one sitting back in his natural trying to set up that perfect CranKy, but charge still a long way off. Blink still a long way off as well. Shield battery overcharge is going to be committed here.
Oh yeah, and ArT does spot that. He's going to back off and try and wait that out. Meanwhile, here we go. Spatz moving out to meet this army.
Yeah, Spatz here trying to make the best of that, best of the Blink that he's got going here. Maybe looking to pop the shields on one of these immortals and then dive back in and snipe it. So yeah, there we go. Just gonna be putting a little bit of damage on each of these immortals so that that barrier is set off.
Oh my god, very nice control here from Spatz, but at the same time, ArT does pull back in time, does save all of his immortals, and he's pushing on forward here. A lot of zealots are going to be buffering for Spatz though.
Yeah, Spatz here with a huge army. Looks like quite a few of those zealots going to be going down, but they have done their job. Only one immortal remains. Spatz going to be trying to focus that down once those shields are gone. Looks like the immortal is going to be going down, and the reinforcements are being warped in. This is the hold for Spatz. GG.
GG gets called. We have a series. Spatz defends and ties it up 1-1.
Yeah, there we go. 1-1. A nice, exciting game number 2 as well. And maybe some small misreads coming out there from ArT, but all in all, a solid defense from Spatzer.
Yeah, like, I really loved the decision-making overall and the execution from ArT, but unfortunately, because Spatz was hyper-aggressive, ArT could never reinforce, right? We never saw a second warp in with his warp prism. He couldn't really keep the aggression up. He couldn't really snowball the way that he wanted to, and Spatz was able to buy himself some time. You could argue that maybe ArT put himself in a really compromised position, like in between the main and the natural, and he got surrounded, and he had a really hard time overwhelming and focusing down those stalkers. I don't think it was a bad decision to go for the force field and to depower those gateways. He just barely didn't really have enough to break him.
Yeah, just barely didn't have enough. The defensive setup was just a bit too strong, and that Nexus first kicked in a bit too hard.
A little bit too hard. And speaking of being a little bit too hard, we're going to be loading into game number 3. We're going to be getting into game 3, and you love to see it in this series. We started with Neo Humanity. Game 3 is going to be on Altitude. Oh my god.
I didn't know you liked PvP that much.
It's amazing, but I love it.
As here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner of the map. It is the Platinum Hero in the pink. This is ArT.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Altitude, we have his opponent, the German Protoss player. It is Spatz. Oh boy, the GLHFs are going to be thrown down here. Of course, Altitude, a big map, quite large, quite massive, quite girthy. The likelihood of really pulling off any kind of major aggression here isn't anywhere near as high. I mean, there's a lot of different locations to throw down a proxy and to try and keep it hidden, but for the time being, it looks like neither one of these players want to take that chance.
Fun fact, when you GLHF on this map, it actually takes 3 seconds for your GLHF to get from your Nexus to their Nexus.
It's crazy. You think your opponent's BMing, but it's just the map, Bobby. It's just the map.
Only the echoes can reach you.
Oh my god. Yeah, and you know, it's your favorite thing here about PvP. We're gonna be able to see the gate expand. Oh.
Animals. Actual animals.
I know, right? These Protoss players, they want to try to pretend to be normal. They want to try and expand.
Yeah, they're playing pretend. I don't believe it. Not for a second. As they do see both players going to be starting up a Zealot. I still am yet to fully understand why they sometimes do and sometimes don't. I suppose you can cancel it if you don't see the pylon block, but it's all a bit of a mystery to me still.
Yeah, yeah, there we go. As you say that, we see the cancel,
Wow.
and we see the Nexus.
That was so cleanly done.
That was actually real slick.
Yeah. That was really impressive, yeah.
It's like he was listening to your cast, and he's like, "I'll show this guy." trying to throw some shade at Protoss players, saying he doesn't understand us. Nah, mate, we're cool.
Perfection. As you see, Spatz, yeah, gonna be quite behind on that Nexus timing. We've seen quite a few times players throw down their Stargate before they get their Nexus. Instead, Spatz just gonna be going for that Nexus a little bit later. I mean, it's not the end of the world either. I've definitely seen plenty of games where it doesn't end up mattering too much.
Yeah, I'm sure he probably would have if he got delayed a little bit further, or specifically if ArT did throw down a pylon, but he didn't really go for the pylon block because he forced out the Zealot, so ArT was pretty content with what his probe was accomplishing. Meanwhile, Spatz is rushing across the map with his own handful of units, looking to try and see what he can get done, but with this kind of defensive position, ArT should be okay.
Yeah, going to be seeing mirrored plays coming out from both, mirrored builds coming out from both players as well. So both going pretty quickly into that blink. I mean, everything's going to be just that little bit faster for ArT, but apart from that, both expanding, both going into a quick blink, and we should be looking to play a very standard PvP from here.
Pretty much. The kind of big question is going to be, are we going to commit to Blink? Are we going to be seeing Forge with +1? The timings on the third bases and the third Nexus. Is there even going to be a third base? As both players even throw down their Robos at basically at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, the production tab has been virtually identical for a little while now.
Oh, yeah. You love to see it, Papi. As ArT is going to be scouring the left-hand side of the map, and he's actually going to be coming across this stray probe, so very nicely done here by ArT.
Yeah, somehow finds another living soul out on the great plains of this map, and we are going to have Spatz sending that Zealot across the map. Didn't cancel, it wasn't as slick with that as ArT was able to be, and looks like ArT actually setting up to take a third here.
Yeah, his probe is getting into position. Meanwhile, as the hallucination gets denied, Spatz throws down his own third base. So, yeah, we're pretty lined up here. We're pretty on time. Spatz going for his own scout just to confirm if any additional gateways have been thrown down, if we have like a fast robotics bay or anything crazy like that.
They're honorable macro Protosses, Papi. So much honor.
They are pretending.
There's no such thing.
After game 1 and game 2, they want us to believe they want a macro? Mate, they're crazy.
Honor among thieves.
Honorable.
Oh.
Man, I haven't casted the honorable in since last year. I miss him, Papi. I miss him. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, he's been around. He's definitely laddering a little bit here and there, but yeah. I haven't seen him myself for a little while either.
Feels bad, man. Feels bad. As we see ArT moving out across the map, going to be able to pick off one of these probes, and he does have the higher stalker count here, so Spatz has to be a little bit careful. Ooh.
Yeah, Spatz actually blinking after him very aggressively.
Oh, yeah, at the same time, it looks like an Adept or 2 Adepts even slipped in towards the natural and the main base. 5 probes already going down. Can we get a 6? We'll get 6! Ooh.
Crazy. Those Adepts doing so much damage. They're very well set up attack from ArT. Great timing there, and both players going to be going into +1 and charge. So we are going to be having that standard macro PvP.
Yeah, but the big difference here is that because not just of the harassment damage, but also because of the crisper timing of the natural early on, ArT has a pretty massive worker lead. He's up almost 10 workers here, and that's going to be able to sustain just a stronger production, a stronger economy. Spatz has some catching up to do here, and there are definitely ways to do it, whether it's with tech or maybe even attempting to outposition his opponent.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, here we go for ArT as well. We're going to be seeing that Templar Archives going down nice and early.
Oh, yeah, so he's going to be able to work towards charge and arc on play as well. Before that happens, ArT is going to be able to meet the army here in the middle of the map. He's going to be able to at least see it coming and force it to slow down. ArT trying to get a good position here on top of the ramp. We are full back to the shield battery. We have an overcharge.
Yeah, we have an overcharge. We have plenty of stalkers here. Second battery going down as well, just to be extra safe. But this army of Spatz not looking too scary compared to that of what ArT has. We even have this prism here just for a little bit of extra micro potential. And there we go. The attack going to be coming on in. Good micro coming out, but jumping straight on top of the shield battery overcharge there.
Oh my god, he blinks on forward, he focuses down the shield battery, he focuses down the prism as well. These chargelets are doing a lot of damage, but the boys are being pulled and the second shield battery is about to finish.
Yeah, second shield battery going to be finishing up there. There is, of course, no shield battery overcharge. A lot of the units of ArT have gone down, including that Immortal. So this is going to be a pretty tight defense here, as there's about as many stalkers for Spatz as there are for ArT. ArT is going to be looking to hold on by the skin of his teeth here.
Oh, man, and I don't know if he is holding because every worker is going to be going down. We have another massive weapon of charge loss. GG gets called, and Spatz takes game number 3, takes a lead in this series.
Wow, GG. Spatz there with a nasty timing.
Oh my god, exactly. The mass amount of charge loss, even though the army supplies were looking pretty similar, and even though we had an Immortal for ArT, he didn't have any defensive Zealots, and Zealots, they take so many Immortal and Stalker hits to go down. They're exactly kind of the buffer unit that you want, so even though Spatz had the lower Stalker count, he had a more efficient army overall, and yeah, a really, really decisive play there, especially with his aggressive blinks.
Yeah, exactly. So just, yeah, very nicely done. It felt like he was a little bit behind from the opening, but he just picked the perfect timing to hit on.
Definitely, you know. You could argue that, you know, because of his position in the game, he had to attack then and there. If the game went on any longer, then we would have seen Archons from ArT, and that would have changed everything, right? He had that Templar Archives on the way, so he was on a timer, but hey, he made it in time.
He was just on time.
Yeah.
Just in time.
Justin. Oh. Beaver.
Justin Oliveira.
Okay. Is that his name?
No.
Oh god. He's gonna name change, but he's gonna be the next world champ.
That's how it's done, man. As here we go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Dragon Scales. This is the Polish Protoss for Platinum Heroes. This is ArT.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have the German Protoss player currently leading this series and one game away from advancing to the grand finals. It is Spatz.
The Polish Protoss for Platinum Heroes.
Excuse me. Yeah, he's pink as well.
True.
Beautiful.
This reminds me of the I don't even remember what it was.
The Polish people eaters.
No. When the shades are depped in.
Oh, yeah.
And when the force field throws down a sentry. That's where I'm at right now, Poppy.
You're breaking my brain.
The gateway's putting down a probe in the wall.
When they marine down the stem.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Oh god, it's not even that late, Puffy. Oh my god. When we Colossus out the extended thermal lance.
Oh, it's so long.
Oh my god. Unfortunately, we haven't seen any of that so far in this series. You know, we don't have Skillus. We don't have any Protoss players with the tendencies to go for the Colossi. But for now, yeah, he's crazy in PvP.
That is crazy.
Where some players go Disruptor, he goes Colossus.
That's kind of cool. But it sounds bad.
Well, I mean, it does surprisingly well because obviously Protoss players transition into like charge
Zealots, right?
Yeah. So it's okay. It's okay. He makes it work.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he wouldn't do it if it was bad. He's a very good player.
I mean, sometimes it doesn't work. Oh my god. Yeah, pretty interesting here. Spatz goes for the gate expand. ArT went for a 2-gate opener and delays his natural even further, actually.
Yeah, I mean, ArT's probe gets that full scout, seeing that gate expand. So I think after seeing that, decides that, you know, he might want to go for a little bit more of an all-in approach. Not going to go for the Hastem approach of skipping the gateway units and going into his own fast nexus. Is instead going to be trying to leverage the fast attack here. But
yeah,
I mean, it isn't even faster.
It's not even faster, man. I mean, Spatz is going to go for a bit of a scout here. The Zealot does confirm the Nexus timing, so at least this time ArT is not going to be all in. But it does feel like he is slightly behind overall. Oracle is going to be on the way, and it's important that ArT keeps this hidden. Otherwise, of course, Spatz could have gone for, say, a Phoenix first or something like that, as he's going for an Oracle of his own.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, ArT here doing a really good job of having that probe there, always ready for the shield battery block. Very important to do that, of course, as yeah, we are just going to be seeing oracles coming out from both players. ArT's going to have that shield battery going up in the main. As for Spatz, yep, Spatz already got his ready as well, so both players really well prepared.
Yeah, shield batteries are ready here, which means that these oracles cannot do much of any damage on their own. They can go for some stasis traps if there isn't too much anti-air, and if we don't have too much of a reaction, as ArT does rock up, and there we go, goes to the stasis into the main base.
Yeah, there we go, going to be catching out 3 probes, definitely not bad.
Oh yeah, definitely something for his troubles. He takes a couple of hits on the way out, but nothing to really write home about, as both players are going for their second oracles, rushing across the map.
Yeah, we have an Adept dipping in there as well, but there we go, nicely dealt with by Spatz. Not going to be taking too much damage to the Adept, and it doesn't get hit by that stasis trap either.
Yeah, very nice control here overall. Second oracle is about to rock up and try and slip in towards the natural, but ArT has correctly split up his stalkers, and he's not really going to be taking much damage at all.
Yeah, even without Stalker, these blinks are able to take down those oracles pretty quickly.
You're an animal. Oh my god, as we do see ArT activating his pulsar beam here across up, does get 6 probes. Oh my god.
Yeah, full commitment coming out with the double oracle. We do see Spatz actually going for the Phoenix there as well to try chase these down. We'll get a quick recall coming out from ArT, and 1 oracle for 6 probes. Not too bad a trade at all, especially considering the double battery was committed.
Yeah, definitely. We expect Spatz to be able to shut that down a little bit harder, but to lose that many workers this early on is pretty brutal. Despite that, Spatz actually still has a worker lead, and that goes to show that the onus was on ArT to deal more damage, especially because of how late his natural was.
Yeah, definitely. But here we go. We do see another advantage that ArT has here. He has been on 2 gateways for a lot longer, so he should have a bit more of a Stalker lead, but it's actually not that crazy. I mean, considering the defender's advantage, we should be pretty similar here on Stalker count. And ooh, behind this, Spatz is going to be going into a DT shrine.
Oh my god. A Dark Shrine is thrown down in the main base. I mean, thankfully, ArT does have some oracles, and they have survived. ArT was actually hunting down the oracles of Spatz in the middle of the map, and now he's pushing out here. Spatz, though, has a pretty comparable Stalker army. All he has to do is defend. He's setting up a proxy gateway across the map to warp in those DTs.
Yeah, Spatz throwing down some extra shield batteries. Does have that proxy gateway across the map, so we'll be going up to 4 gates here. ArT, on the other hand, going into a fast 3rd nexus, so looks like Spatz is going to be defending quite heavily on 2 bases and then trying to just get this kill move here.
We'll see if he can pull it off here. Spatz unfortunately forced to kill his own Stargate to try and get some better surface area. Meanwhile, the Dark Shrine is going to finish up in a couple of seconds. So far, this has gone unscattered. ArT, he doesn't know.
Yeah, ArT has to be a little concerned at this point that he hasn't seen any attempts to take a third. He is putting this Cybercore in a lot of danger. Looks like that might be going down here.
Oh, the overcharge is a little bit too late. The cyber core goes down, but before that happens, the DTs have been warped in. We have 2 DTs here in total, and so far, ArT, he has a cannon!
Yeah, he's got a cannon at the natural here, so he's going to be able to catch this out. Looks like, going for the block with the probes as well. That's fantastic.
Hey, oh my god, ArT, he shuts down the DT play. And Spatz, what can he do from here? He's going to be forced in. As he moves out, he gets caught by a stasis trap.
Oh, absolutely brutal stasis trap. Going to be taking out 6 of those. 6 of those stalkers there, so Spatz he is delayed ever further, and looks like ArT setting up to go for an aggressive blink on top of these stalkers as well.
Yeah, exactly. He's waiting here for his moment. He has enough to one-shot those stalkers. 2 stalkers are going to go down immediately. And Spatz, things were going so well for him earlier. Now what can he do? He has rebuilt that cyber core. He is making some immortals. He sends in another wave of DTs. 4 DTs this time. He kills the cannon.
Yeah, he takes down the cannon. He is going to take down the pylons, carrying the robo as well. And do we have any oracles on the map? We have no oracles on the map for ArT.
Oh my god! Mate, how did this happen? We had the oracles earlier, but they were sniped. Meanwhile, across the map, ArT, he is committing. He has to do something with his army. And even if he wins this fight, we just need some defensive DTs.
Yeah, looks like Spatz is trying to buy himself time there. I don't love that, trying to meet him out on the map like that, but looks like he is going to be recalling some of the extra stalkers he has at home. He has an immortal popping now as well, and here we go. What are these DTs able to do? They're taking out all of the pylons that they can. Yeah. I do believe there's still no extra robo. Okay, there's a robo coming up for ArT at his 3rd now. There's also a cannon there.
There is a cannon at the 3rd. There's now a cannon at the main base as well. We have shield batteries to support. But Spatz has an army. He has a main army. He's moving out across them. He doesn't have to rely on just DTs. And he has an overwhelming force of stalkers.
Yeah, he's continuing to warp stalkers from that proxy gate across the map. Looks like he's going to be going once again to try to snipe out that robo. We still have those cannons for ArT, but looks like he's going to be taking a pretty good fight here. Has to be careful. The probes are getting good surface area here, and that is starting to sway the fight with the stalkers.
Yeah, that was a questionable move going for the robo. He actually lost his immortal and a lot of units as that was happening, but the DTs are still wreaking havoc. They take down the cyber core.
Yeah, and the Nexus.
Oh. The natural goes down. The DTs are actually going in towards the 3rd base. The cannon is going to be able to hold on for the time being, but ArT is in danger. He still has a decent standing army here. ArT, he's expanding. He's taking a 3rd, but the DTs coming into they come into the main.
Oh, the DT's rushing back in. The cannon's going to be going down, so this main is forfeit as well, and that means all of these pylons powering these gateways are going to be going down. ArT is going to be limited to zero gateways.
He has zero production. Well, he has 1 gateway right now that he can warp in with, and that is it. And it's about to be depowered. Meanwhile, what you see is what you get. This is ArT's army.
Yeah, ArT's going to be holding on as well as he can. This, of course, the last game available. Spatz looking to win this best of 5 and go on to the grand finals. ArT's going to be making his last stand here, trying to save this last Nexus.
Mate, he was doing everything right. He had cannons up in time. Remember the first defense when he pulled the boys? He just completely shut down the first 2 DTs. Everything was looking good, but 1 moment is all Spatz needs, mate. 1 chance, 1 opportunity, and he took it, mate. Mom spaghetti.
Yeah, there is mom spaghetti indeed. There is nothing left. ArT gonna have to pull the probes to try to win this fight, but the Nexus goes down. He is down to 1 Nexus. We forgot to...
No GG? No GG, Poppy. Spatz, he takes game number 4 and the series 3-1.
Pretty fair, no GG. That's rough.
He got prioritized, Poppy.
Yeah. He sure did.
Oh my god. GG, well played. My heart goes out to ArT because it felt like he was doing everything right. Like he had a pretty rough start, to be fair. But he was getting himself back into it. He was taking a massive lead. He had a 3rd base up and running. He had a better economy. He was getting better upgrades and better tech overall. He was working on a forge with +1 for his stalkers. And he even had like defensive cannons. He was ready for it, Bob. He was ready.
Yeah, it feels like he did everything right, but just that move of depowering that robo, and I guess as well, Spatz was able to take out the oracles across the map, and that's just That's just such an unfortunate way to lose.
Ah. GG, well played. Congratulations as Spatz moves on to the grand finals where he has a Terran player waiting for him. Before we get too ahead of ourselves as well, I want to give a massive shout out to Babylings in the chat as we did get a lovely raid. Thank you so much. Hope you had a great ladder session. A little love being sent out there, and yeah, if you're tuning in, you're tuning in just in time as we're getting ready for the grand finals.
Yeah, so we will be getting into that TVP very soon.
We will. But you gotta say.
I had nothing more to say. I wasn't sure if we're going on a break.
Yeah, no, we will.
Okay, we are.
Good. Yes, we are going to be going on a short break while we get everything set up and ready for the grand finals. So bear with us. We have 5 minutes, so make sure you get up, you stretch, you get some food, you go to the bathroom, you get some water, you hydrate your hydras, you stretch your roaches, you massage your marines, and you drain your disruptors for the finals.
See if I can do all that in 5 minutes.
I'll time you. Oh my god. All right, guys. We'll see you guys soon. See you then.